Catering staff, this way, ma'am. The security guard at the Grand Meridian Hotel didn't even bother to look at me. He just pointed toward the service hallway, clipboard tucked under his arm. His tone clipped and final. Years of routine had trained him to decide in seconds who belonged in places like this and who didn't. Waiters, cleaners, people like me, or so he assumed. What he couldn't see was a black titanium key card resting inside my purse engraved with a sleek silver L. Lennox Hospitality Group, my company. The one that owned this hotel, 16 others across North America, and the penthouse upstairs where tonight's engagement party was being held. My son's engagement party. No one here knew that the working-class mother they planned to quietly park near the kitchen was actually the owner of the building for the night. My name is Regina Lennox. I'm 54 years old, and I built everything I have from nothing. I grew up above my mother's tailoring shop in Queens, sharing cramped space with my siblings, working after school, saving every dollar I could. At 24, I took a chance on a failing roadside inn. 30 years later, that risk became a billion-dollar luxury hospitality group employing thousands. But families like the Harringtons don't value effort, they value lineage. When I first met them at their Greenwich estate, they looked at me with polite sympathy. Daniel's working mother, Melanie Harrington, said, as if she were delivering a diagnosis. When I mentioned I was a CEO, they brushed past it. Belle smiled and gently cut me off. Business talk isn't appropriate over dinner. That was the moment I realized I'd already been placed in the wrong box. Weeks later, Belle announced that the engagement party would be held at the Grand Meridian Penthouse, my hotel. 150 guests were invited. I was permitted to attend alone, no friends. Just a curated guest list, Belle said sweetly. I smiled and stayed quiet. On the night of the party, I arrived in a midnight blue custom Valentino gown. Yet the guard still waved me toward the back. When Belle and her mother arrived, they smoothly guided me to a small, comfortable chair near the kitchen. One chair, one drooping flower, tucked out of sight. I smiled and accepted it. Then I sent a text to my director of operations. Please come to the penthouse. Minutes later, my staff arrived, stunned to find me seated like hired help. I asked them to let the Harringtons know that the owner of the hotel wished to speak with them. When Charles and Melanie approached, visibly annoyed, I stood and introduced myself clearly. I'm Regina Lennox. I own this hotel. The color drained from their faces. Belle arrived just in time to hear it all. She claimed she hadn't known. I reminded her she had never wanted to know. Daniel walked in moments later, confused then furious. When he learned what she'd done, "You don't get to hide my mother," he said, and walked away from her that night. I returned to the main room, greeted guests, and watched the Harringtons scramble to save their dignity. 2 weeks later, Daniel ended the engagement. Months after that, he met someone new. A woman who respected people, not status. At their celebration, everyone sat in the same room. That night taught me something I'll never forget. People show you who they are when they think you have nothing to offer. Those who treat you like the help when they think you're struggling will beg for your approval. Once they see your success, true character isn't revealed by how someone treats a CEO. It's revealed by how they treat the person they assume is invisible. Belle Harrington never saw the woman who built an empire. That wasn't my failure. And one last thing, when you own the building, you never have to sit in the back.